If you haven't watched the last 3 videos in this series, the Write a Task A essay with me, then make sure you go watch them now. I'll link them up here. But essentially, in those, I analysed the prompts, I wrote the introduction, and I wrote the body paragraph 1. In this video, we're going to be continuing and writing body paragraph 2, which is the 3rd out of 4 paragraphs that I write in my Task A argumentative style essays. And I'm excited to start, nearing the end, the finish line of this one. So I hope it goes well, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate Robson and I scored 80 in section 2 of the GAMSAT in the 2021 March sitting, and now I've just been making videos trying to help you guys do that as well. So if you like this sort of content, then feel free to give it a like and chuck us a subscribe as well if you're not already, because it really does help me grow this channel and get the word out and try and help as many people as possible. Over the last couple of weeks, I've kind of been developing this essay and it's going fairly well. I think it shows how sometimes you just need more time to write a good essay, which we naturally don't have in the GAMSAT, but I suppose at least this is helping me kind of hash out my ideas and really pay attention to what I want to say, and I hope it's helping you guys kind of see how I break down my essays, communicate my ideas and structure my paragraph. If you do want to know more about how I actually write my essays and if you need some extra help, then feel free to sign up for my course. It's called Essays Made Easy, and it's essentially the online all-in-one guide that is everything I know that will help you score highly in section 2. I hope it's the resource that you've been missing in the section 2 world, and I hope it just helps you quickly and easily learn what you need to do to score well in section 2. So if you're not already enrolled and you feel like that's something that would help you and that you're interested in, click the link in the video description. But other than that, I suppose we can just get right into it and start writing and see how this goes. The next paragraph is going to be, well, the last paragraph was about how technology has changed the structure of our societies, particularly in Western democratic societies, starting with and ignited by the Industrial Revolution. And it's kind of changed how we operate socially. So now I want to kind of refute that or lead that onto my next point, which is that although it has changed a lot about our social structures and our sociality, our sociology as humans, that's probably a better word, I don't think it's going to change what it means to be human, which is to think, to feel, because those things I think are uniquely human, and if we lose those, or if technology changes those things about us, then I want to kind of make the philosophical argument that I don't think that, I don't know, I suppose that we will lose our human essence. That's what I want to argue. Perhaps we as a species can still be defined as humans even if we lose our abilities to think and feel, i.e. our minds and our souls, because you could argue that humanity is also defined by our bodies, but I think the capacities that we have to think and feel is just so uniquely human that we're the only species on the planet that we know of that are able to think and feel like we do. And so I think that although technology has massive potentials, it will not be able to change. It hasn't changed the human essence, which is to think and to feel. And if it does, then I don't know if we can call ourselves human, because those characteristics are define us as human beings. That's the idea. We'll see how it goes. It's a bit philosophical, and there might be some flaws in my argument there, but perhaps I can kind of hash them out with a counter argument. So yeah, this will be interesting. So same as last time, I'll start myself out with the topic sentence, which is kind of 1.5 lines of just describing my argument, kind of stating it overall in simple terms. Okay. That was actually fairly easy to write. I suppose I'm getting better at this now. But yeah, again, I've kind of written an extended topic sentence where I just really explain what my point is. And I've tried to hash it out a little bit. Yeah, up next is the example, but first I'll read out what I've just written so that you guys can hear it and have a think about it as well. Although technology has changed much about the human species and the ways in which we socialize and operate, It has not changed the essence of what it means to be human, to think and to feel. The human capabilities of consciousness, is that we know of, unique to humans on this planet, and this defines us as a species. Our bodies are uniquely human indeed, but what separates us as a species is our ability to freely think and feel. Technology has not changed this, but if it does, I'm not sure we can call ourselves humans anymore. Okay, that's, I suppose, fairly good so far, hopefully. Yeah, I'm going to continue with an example. I think I'll talk about the philosophical theory of free will, and perhaps species superiority and the implications of that. Okay, so I've kind of introduced my example, which is the free will theory. So I've said the philosophical theory of free will is in opposition to that of determinism. The free will theory argues that we as humans are capable of determining our own actions and that we are in control of our fate, whereas the determinism theory argues the opposite, that our fate has been determined for us and that we have no choice in the matter. I.e., we are merely puppets in someone else's show. Maybe I'll say God, perhaps. Then I'll go on to my analysis, which is essentially just like linking to my point, proving my point. So I'm going to use the free will theory to prove my point, which is that the essence of being human. Okay, this essay, I think, has lost its oomph. I think this shows, like, if you don't have a clear idea of what you're actually trying to say and what your argument is, then as you try to write it, it will get very difficult. And in this case, I have created the strangest argument trying to explain an idea that I just hadn't properly understood yet myself. And although it could be a potentially interesting discussion, I'm not sure this reads very well or would be understood very well, or just is very good in general. Yeah, perhaps you disagree. I don't even know what my argument is, really. Yeah, anyway, let's read it. Okay, where was I? I'll start from my analysis, perhaps. No, I'll go from the example and we can go from there. The philosophical theory of free will is in opposition to that of determinism. The free will theory argues that we as humans are capable of determining our own actions, and that we are in control of our fate, whereas the determinism theory argues the opposite, that our fate has been determined for us and that we have no choice in the matter, i.e. we are merely puppets in someone else's show, God perhaps. If the free will theory is correct, we as humans are able to think and act freely and are capable of making our own decisions and creating our own fates. This means that technology, although it has changed much about how we operate, would have to alter our ability to think and act freely to truly change our essence, ridding us of free will. If we have free will and technology changed that, say, by making us like robots incapable of free thought guided by computed instructions, we would lose the essence of our being. And what distinctly defines our species? Essentially, if technology removed our ability to think free thoughts and feel emotions, our fate as a species would be altered. One could argue that our fate has been altered already in such a social change caused by technology, or that our species is headed for such a science-fictional proposition. We all become robots and technology takes over. But we must recognize how this would change the definition of what it means to be human. If technology takes over and humans completely lose our ability to think and feel, our sense of species superiority, that we are the superior species, which has caused problems in animal rights communities and enlarged our sense of authority over our planet's cohabitants, will be abolished, turning the fate of our planet on its head. I suppose this is the benefit of science fiction novels and films. The future of our planet is uncertain, although I'm sure climate activists have some ideas, and technology holds such great potential. But if technology strips our ability to think, are our bodies enough to define our species? I don't know if I've developed my argument enough. It's kind of an interesting proposal. If technology changes, takes away our ability to think and to feel, does that mean we can be human anymore? I suppose yes, maybe we can. To not be human, we have to die perhaps, but if technology changed the whole species' ability to think and feel, yeah, I guess my question is are our bodies enough to sustain our identity as a species and our distinction as a species? Perhaps, I suppose. Although I don't know. This is why philosophy is crazy. I think it has potential, but I think I have confused myself a little bit. And perhaps I've opened up discussion that I just haven't done enough thinking about, nor have I argued for it well enough or strongly enough. Yeah, you might disagree, you might agree. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, look, I guess body paragraphs are just about arguing. They're just about convincing someone of your argument. And yeah, I don't know if I've done that here or not. But I tried, I certainly tried. Thanks so much for watching if you have watched up to this point. I really do appreciate it. And if you do like this video, feel free to give it a like, subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you very soon, next week, at the same time next week, for our final paragraph, which is going to be our conclusion. And in that, we will finish off this essay, tie it off. And yeah, I'm excited. I'll see you guys for the next video very soon.
So girls, move it around. If you see your main dog, get the brother up.